table full of melanites. If the body gon' shine, I don't need the eyes. It's real tough. Yeah. Speaking on the times, cause my people need to see. Third eye blind, know they lying through their teeth. They tryna loop the time, tryna keep us in a sleep. But you know we gotta rise like the steam in the heat. Quantum physics to a beat, how time zones lead. It matter just the data that your brain gon' see. Alchemy, you master all that photon light. Avatar the body, just the temple, do you see? The deities surround me, I put a please. Breathe deep, I push cheese like Bruce Lee. Yo, it's Dragon Ball Z, I'm Super Saiyan 3. And we finna walk them down, any town, any street. New world on horizon, I can see the silver lining. Cause the sun gon' shine, then we all keep shining. Mighty lion can heal the pain, you know his name. But they stand on the same old thing. They playing, well let's talk about it. Round table full of melanites. Crystal body gon' shine, I don't need the ice. D and me, you gon' see us rise. My people so divine, know it's our time. Let's talk about it.
Let's have the conversation.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Let's have the conversation.
I don't wanna hear that he say, that she say. You listening to parasites on replay. They tap into my phone to listen like we on three-way. It's tap into your aura, feel the energy like heat waves. Let's talk about it. Who you praying to? When you start to lose your mind, who is saving you? If you're moving through the time, what's the energy that's moving you? I wanna have the conversation. We always dropping gems back and forth, like great debating. We making our own way, our own land, our own pavement. Just suiting up the spaceship. I like to wake up with the sun. Say my daily mantra, speaking crypto, speaking tongues. Tell them what I'm after, we the wanna get it done. I feel my enemies around me. 7 deadly sins, they tryna trap and keep me bounded. I'm not staying around, I get my people, then I'm outie. Yeah.
Round table full of melanites. Crystal body gon' shine, I don't need the ice. D and me, you gon'.
Greetings, and welcome to another episode of Let's Have the Conversation. How is everybody? Hey, y'all.
Amazing.
Greetings, y'all.
How's everyone out there in the committee? We hope you all are doing well. We've missed you. We've got a great show for you tonight, y'all. So, just get ready. We're going to get this thing going. Let's start off with Mr. Jose. Take it away.
All right, I got a little story here. I'm going to play the video. And it is about a girl who is in foster care with her mom who actually owns a women's center. And I just want y'all to listen and see what your opinion is. This is only a little bit of the video, though.
Hey, y'all, TT back. Say hey, TT.
Good morning.
So TT decided to run the streets. And she meet men out here in these streets. And Lord knows. But the problem that we're having is I've had this girl for 3 years. And she has indicated to me that what?
Dad, me and Daddy Chris have been fucking.
She said that her and Daddy Chris been screwing, right?
Yes.
And it's not the first time she said it, right? So when she brought it to my attention, I immediately tried to address the situation. And then immediately she said
that we didn't do it.
That you didn't do it.
No.
So now I'm completely confused about what's the reality and what's real and what's not. You understand? So now she's saying it again. And she's really pretty detailed. And honestly, I really don't even know. I know who she is. I know who he is. And the fact that I know who both these people is, I'm inclined to believe that it could be the truth. I'm inclined to believe that it can be a lie. So what do I do? But she is saying all these things. So tell me what has occurred, because I'm baffled. I'm lost. I'm confused. I don't even know what to do. You understand? And the messed up part about
We're going to skip forward because she cuts her the fuck off, y'all.
with Daddy Chris.
So on that night when Genesis friends came.
So it be stuff like that be making me feel like some of this shit be true, because she be detailed about the days. Like,
we were in the bathroom, right? We took off our clothes. He was uploading porno videos. After he did that, we started to fuck like the porn.
And what you say happened in the car?
That before we came to your house on the driveway, he asked me to pull my shorts down.
So like, what do I do? Honestly, what do I do? Please, somebody fucking tell me. What the fuck do I do?
Oh God, Quatita, just calm down.
What I feel is social services needs to come in. I did not play more of the videos because there's more to this. The brothers also sexually abused her. I personally would love to hear what the panel has to think. What I feel is that she is not being cared for, and her mother keeps telling everyone she's not cognizant enough, but she is cognizant enough to tell you the truth. She might not be cognizant enough to tell you, you know, okay, this is that. And she probably was going back and forth because in her head, she was scared that she would be reprimanded. There's so many things, and you understand how she isn't 100% there, but she is 95% there. And for you to keep calling her a liar, there's another video where she goes to get the what do they call the lie detector test? But she goes to get one of them on her, and I thought that was unreal that you could not take her word for it when she told you that. She told you out of fear, but when she explained it to you later in detail, you should have been able to say, "This is my daughter. I'm going to take her stance," and her brothers did this to her as well. I need to step in and protect her. But I'm going to let the panel go ahead and go.
Anybody else want to jump in?
I can. I'm gonna be quick.
Okay.
My thing about it is obviously she's using her for content, because this is a serious situation that, you know, not to say people shouldn't go to social media. I feel like a lot of things gets uncovered on social media, but for her to consistently continue to post videos, now you're posting a lie detector test. Where are these men at? Where are these men at? Because the men are, those are her caretakers as well, or the man, the daddy Chris is supposed to be her caretaker as well. So this is beyond like, oh, she's fast, or beyond, oh, she's incapable of telling us. Now there needs to be serious investigations going on with the adults of the situation, or the 100% adults minded, 100% minded adults in the situation, because regardless of whether she's cognizant enough, she's telling you something. She's telling us something. So where are the men?
Go ahead, Miss Malik.
Let me bring y'all in close for this one. Greetings, committee. Greetings, panel. So let me tell you something, right? I feel like at this point she should have charges put against her, because the way that she is playing on this child's name, I don't understand how you can say, what do I do? What do I do? But you knew to get on TikTok and on social media. You knew to have your daughter dressed in this manner, standing in front of this camera, speaking of sexual activities that she is having that are traumatizing. You were capable of doing all of that, but you don't know what to do to make sure that she is within protection, with you being her guardian. I really feel like people are taking advantage of these titles, and we need to start figuring out different labels for these beings who are in the lives of children, because we're seeing it more and more and more. And don't mind these nails that are off. Don't judge me. I had to pack your orders, but I just put these back on, and in like 5 minutes, these are going to be back on too. Just give me a second. But just pay attention to the smoky quartz, because it's Mercury retrograde, and we need this right now to keep us balanced and grounded because of entities like this. And this is what I consider an entity. You are willing to put your child through additional trauma based on the fact that she's probably not going to respond to you in a way that these other babies who run around beating their parents' stuff, she's not going to respond that way. And if she ever did withdraw, it's based on how you are speaking to her. Because one thing that I think parents are failing to realize is there's a level of respect in your communication that you have to have with your children. Even though you are the elder, and yes, you should be respected, you have to be able to give that for them to know how to return it to you. I don't know. There's so many parts of this that are wrong, Jose. And I just want to jump through the phone and have a long conversation.
I have a question for clarity, because she said that she's had this girl for 3 years. Is she her foster? I mean, I just want to clarify, but she's like
her
fosters
foster
her.
mother. Yes.
Okay.
Her
Yeah,
real
that's
parents
what I
no
heard.
longer wanted her, which makes this even more fucked up because she needs more of someone to show her this is why I need security. This is why I need somebody that actually gives a fuck. I see Quatita wants to say something. I'm gonna let you go.
Come on,
Yeah.
governess.
Okay. First of all, let me say these glasses is cute, but I can't see shit. Just so you know. Okay. Secondly, I feel like everybody has completely taken advantage of her. Okay. One, mom, fake mom, she's getting a check. That's what's going on here. She's getting some motherfucking money. Secondly, she's getting a check. Daddy Chris is getting some ass. Brothers is getting some ass because they know that, yes, she is on the spectrum somewhere, and they felt like she would not say anything. They felt like that they could do this. And furthermore, where the fuck would she be getting it from? She keeps saying, that's why I almost believe her because it's so detailed. You know who you laying down with. You don't want to leave this nigga because for some reason you in your state of precious. Like, why wouldn't you believe her? That's who the fuck is telling the truth out of everybody. You giving lie detector tests. I feel like you, like, why? Or did you give them one too? Like, what are we talking about? Nobody is protecting her. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm so angry about it. I hate that I even seen the video because now I want to fight her. Like, for real, real time.
Do we know? Do we know her age, governess?
I don't
No, I
know.
don't know her age, but what's more disheartening is she owns a women's center.
No, she can't. Please say it's not so.
I
She has
believe it.
validated.
Oh, sorry, that was loud. I believe it. Let me tell you why. I need y'all to really understand something and see. I'm fixing it now, cousin. So I love y'all. But there are so many individuals that are looked up to by so many individuals that are setting rules for your home because, or for others' homes, because we know better here, but setting rules for others' homes because people just want to be told what to do and they just want somebody cool to look up to, and they not what it is that they're presenting themselves as. These individuals that I definitely believe like she's the perfect candidate within this energy that we are within right now to run a any form of women's shelter or women's advice, women's healing, women's counseling, because a lot of these individuals are frauds. And so they'll use real life situations where they can trauma bond or they can bait, and they will utilize that to make money and pretend like they know what they're doing when in their own life, there's no clear reflection of the advice that it is that they're giving.
Because Malika, what would she do if this was one of her clients? She doesn't know what to do. What kind of profession is she in? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why would you even be in this kind of profession if you don't know what to do? What would you
Absolutely.
do if you wasn't fucking this nigga? Excuse me.
I want to know what she did the first time the young girl brought her there. Does she not, if she works in that field, does she not already have connections to doctors that can do tests? Did she let her go bathe and wash the evidence off to make it easier on her to go lay back down with whoever she's laying back down with? Like, there's so many steps. Go ahead, go ahead,
Okay, because listen, as a woman, excuse me, follow me, women. First of all, if she is on the spectrum, we have to think about like cleanliness. You were talking about this person that's got her pulling her clothes down in the car. We need to know about fingers and bacteria. And if you're not addressing the shit, that means she's not getting pap smears. And that is something that should be motherfucking happening. What are we talking about? Like, somebody report this bitch. She needs to not be doing the occupation that she is in holding.
I absolutely agree with you all. But I want to say this: had that young girl been in a group home setting, she would still be doing the do. They all do. I've worked in them.
True.
They all have urges. They all have needs. Now, I'm not saying it's an excuse for this
No,
situation at all,
you're
but
right, Corbin.
I do want you to remember that as a young lady with needs, just like you and
Listen,
me.
you are correct, Corbin. And that's what I'm saying. I used to be a paraprofessional for special needs children. They used to be in schools, in the bathrooms, wherever they can get it in at, they would be. You know what I mean? He probably can barely walk because she has Down syndrome, but they be fucking. You understand what I'm saying?
Facts,
Seriously, facts.
facts,
You know what I'm
facts,
saying?
facts.
And it's just, but we have to take them to the doctor. So, ma'am, why the fuck is she not seeing somebody that would tell you?
Mm-hmm.
Because if she isn't a virgin, we need to understand who took the virginity.
Exactly.
And even with that, Carbon, she does have urges, I'm sure. And her mother had explained that. But also, she had made it another TikTok about how she's fuckable. Look how she looks. You know, who wouldn't want to fuck her? She's on there right now looking for a man. Those are things where it's like, did you not just hear her trauma she went through? But you got her surfing and fishing for another man to make it seem like, okay, let's blow over this because
This is
she's
her
an
behavior.
attractive girl. She can get whatever she wants. She can fuck whoever she wants. What are you doing here? You're trying to throw it off to where she just told you she was abused by everyone in the household, even you, bitch. And you're going to sit here and then cascade it like, oh, it's okay. She can get any kind of man she wants. That's why she's on them websites right now and then pans the TikTok camera over at her. No.
But that's to establish that this young lady has a behavior of doing this, has a pattern of doing this, she's trying to make it where she's not culpable because this is what she does. This is her behavior.
She
I've
probably
seen this
don't even
before.
know what, you know what I'm saying? Like people, listen, if you can talk the head off of a 12-year-old girl and fuck her, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what's happening. They're taking full advantage of this, of her. That shit is mind blowing.
Well, I just know if I was the parent of that young lady, well, I can't even say that because the real parents don't care, obviously. So, but I just know for me personally, like I'd be ready to take the decapitate somebody, kind of like what happened in Memphis, governors. Oh. Uh-oh.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. So look,
Okay.
never mind.
No, I didn't hear the last thing you said. You completely cut out. So if you were still talking on that subject, we didn't hear nothing. So go for it if you were.
No.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so I'm a horrible journalist, and I was supposed to find out more because there was a report that I heard a few days ago. And committee, if y'all heard this, let me know, because there was a 24-year-old man that was found with his head decapitated. And I was supposed to do more research on this, but I've been really doing other stuff, busy. But as Malika had went to see if she could find the story herself, she found there were so many more people that this has happened to. Like, they are decapitating Mennonites in Mississippi. It's almost a regular thing. I'm thinking this is like the second, maybe third. Malika, how many did you find?
Well, most of the initial articles were the young man that was, and I apologize because his name has slipped me in this moment, but the young man that they ended up, Quatita did a walk with
Mr.
crime.
Carter?
Yes, when he tried to get assistance from the police because he was being chased by genomes, and he ended up going missing when the family came. It was in the same state. And I believe that they said when the body was returned to the family, even in his case, that the head was removed from the spine. It was decapitated, right? So that would be one situation. And then there was another where the body was found, but the head was missing. And then there was the one that you're speaking of with the head on the porch. And it seemed like there were about two more, but it was very hard to differentiate because there were so many articles about decapitations of the way that I searched it, African Americans, Blacks in Mississippi.
Yes. So the one that you mentioned was probably in 2017, 2018. He was decapitated and they had placed his head on the porch. And so I was really just starting my walk inside of this job that I do. And I posted it on my Facebook, and his child's mom reached out and was like, can you take my children's father's head down off of your Facebook, please? And ever since then, that stuck with me because I did a reading for her, ended up doing a reading for her afterwards. And I found out that it was the Good Old Boys and a police connection in that. I believe that this is what they're doing in Mississippi. This shit ain't never changed. This is kind of what they do. You know what I mean? And the people of Mississippi are not, not saying a lot because it's almost a regular thing. Aubrey from Mississippi, have you heard any of this before?
This happens all the time. Um, there was a news article about this maybe a couple years ago where they found, dismembered parts of a person on someone's porch again. So these are like messages that they send to people all the time. And this is in central Mississippi, Jackson, Mississippi. These are places where people have great big populations. So this is not anything that's out of the norm. In Mississippi, what happens in Mississippi, they allow it to happen. That's the grounds. If you want to do something that's illegal, go to Mississippi. You can be able to do it. They'll let you do it. They don't care. Jim Crow, listen. They for that for real. It is what it is.
Jeez. Was
But
Aubrey, wasn't there also something with the pecan trees, pecan, the trees where they were finding? I remember when we were when you did a walk with crime, governess, and we had looked at articles afterwards, and there was a lady who I believe that she's been unalived since, but she was doing a study on the hangings, on the yeah, that are in the state also, and it had something to do with the pecan tree. I'll look at it and I'll get back to y'all and
I
figure that
haven't
out.
heard that. But that's interesting.
She was trying to see the distance in between the time for each melanite that has been attacked by this group. I'm trying to not get striked, y'all, but I really just want to say it for what it is.
Say
But
it for what it is.
listen, so all these people who's being attacked by genomes and hung up on pecan trees, and they having these lynchings, these live lynchings like they used to back in the day in the middle of the night when they drag you out, like exactly. Because even when you think
mm-hmm.
about the history of Mississippi and Mississippi burning, right, is how they refer to when,
Yes.
right there, it goes way back. Like
Yeah.
I'm ready for the green book to come back. I'm ready for a lot of different things to come back. But please give me a green book so I know where to drive and where not to go, because the amount of these situations in this area, it makes no
Mm-hmm.
sense how, well, it makes absolute sense how nothing is changing. That might have a
Right.
lot to do with, what was it, Quatita? The Eagles? The tattoos? The Eagles? Right?
Yes. Yes. The
Mm.
Eagles.
Ashe.
Yes.
I
I
say.
say. Attitude.
Well, yeah. Did you want to say something, Chaz? Was you raising your hand to say something? Or am I tripping?
Nah, I'm just saying. A lot of that stuff makes sense. I think Corbin, you had did like we was on IG one time and you was talking about like gangs and stuff like that, but it's like more political gangs than everything. And
Mm.
they all got like some type of symbolism tattoo or something on them,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
which is I think is just careful that we just when we are traveling just to follow our instincts. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know. You never know.
Yeah, they're I remember vaguely what you're talking about. It's they all have their own tattoos. It's a whole bunch of them, y'all. It's like a whole bunch of them, and it's like the Vikings and the this and the that, and they're all within law enforcement. So if you see these dudes with the tattoos of the eagles or whatever, pay attention to that stuff. Yeah, real talk.
Didn't the woman report like thousands of them, like 3,000 cop
Yeah, it
gangs
was
that are like
something like
can
that.
be proved to exist, which is
FBI.
fucking unbelievable.
Yeah, don't
And I've,
forget military. Some of them are military as well, or
Oh, okay,
ex-military.
okay.
and
You
I've
know what
learned
I
a lot
mean?
of them also, they will wear the jewelry. If they don't have the tattoos, it's in jewelry. But
Yeah.
make sure you pay attention to the jewelry and
Mm,
earrings and certain things. I've learned only because of certain jobs I've worked. I've been able to uncode and see Freemasons and stuff like that.
mhm.
Make sure you pay attention to those kind of things too. It's not always in tattoos. It's sometimes already worn around them, and you're not even understanding the coding in front of their hands and on their ears, on their neck. It's a little
Mhm.
bit more intricate than what we think sometimes.
When I did
Right.
the research for Rasheen Carter, I think that's his name, correct? Um, and I found, you're right, Jose, because they had eagles on their front porch. It was like, by the mailbox, and so they represent for sure.
It was on
Mhm.
the police station.
It was, yes, it was on the police
Mm,
station as well.
mhm.
Mm.
Well, speaking of paying attention, Malika, people obviously are not paying attention to their children, and that's how they wind up not underlive, being, rolled down the street and things. You want to talk about that with us?
We have
Mm-hmm.
5 minutes to the commercial, so Can we go to commercial first?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, let's do that, and we'll come back and we'll run Malika's crimes of corner of crimes.
Yes, Malika's Corner of Crimes. There we go.
Yeah.
Listen, I
Real
love
quick.
how Carbon rolled that story
He
in. I just
did. He's getting so good. I love it.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
Real quick, before we go to commercial, I had not seen someone's comment, and let me tell you how flattered I was that Love said that if she was a man, she would knock all my walls out. And I salute you for wanting to tear down the badge. I am flattered by that and gratitude. Let's go on and take a break, Carmen.
before the break, please, if you would send an email with a photograph to a magicwalk@gmail.com, because I am the friend that spotted the comment, and I am very proud of your approach. So please, if you could just submit that email,
and title it Wall Knocker. And with that said, we have a word from our sponsors. We'll be right back.
I sit, close my eyes, inhale and exhale, and ask myself, what is it within us that makes us give up on our own experiences based on the beliefs of others? How is it that beings, even societies who in so many ways exemplify strength based on societal norms, find comforting ease with going with what is popular presented rather than what is? Why limit self to some when you can have all? I am living my life as it comes to me, aligned with those that I can learn from as they learn from me, those that will not attempt to mold me into the perfect fit for their journey, but rather provide guidance if they sense I am straying from my path. Regardless of who we are or have been within our personal journey, we complement each other within the blessing of the experience that is us. I am living my life in the realization that that which supersedes is my ability to understand that my personal experience and the results of that is what takes precedence when it comes to the formation of my being and my personal belief system. I am aware that my beliefs, those which guide me, may have fact energy within my journey, but should be received as opinion to others, as this ensures that they before any are the grand creators of their journey, as I am of mine. This is the beauty rather than the conflict of difference of opinion, as we were all brought here to play a part, not to please others, but rather to be exactly who we are uniquely for the betterment of self, which then carries over to the betterment of all. Grand Rising.
All right, y'all, and we are back. Malika, let me just tell you, y'all commercials, like every week they get better and better and better. Like you done put a whole thing on that thing. Well, you know what I mean, okay? I'm just saying. I'm very proud of you.
Gratitude. I
Hmm.
appreciate you so much. Gratitude. And speaking of Grand Rising, if you're not registered for the newsletter yet, when you go to the website, that first pop-up that comes up with my face on it and the bottle of goddessence, enter your email there. That is where we give all of the best specials, discount codes, because we want to make sure that our newsletter subscribers have all of the information first. For instance, right now we have a Mother's Day sale going on. There is a code that you can use, which is Cosmic Mother, on the website, and you get 15% off. If you have the newsletter, you would have known that from earlier this week. It ends on the 5th. And make sure you tune in also on Mother's Day. We're doing a 24-hour run that's going to be full of surprises and fun stuff. So with that being said, and the thing that's the most beautiful to me, Carbon, about that commercial is when Nye is blessing the box, because you may not be able to tell that it's her hands on the side and my hand on the top. When I think about the connection between a mother and her daughter, a mother and her children, but a mother and her daughter, I could not imagine if this experience that I'm about to tell you all about ever happened to me. Look, just be my pen pal. That's all I'm gonna say. Just make sure you still support me when I'm behind bars or when I travel to a different country and just send y'all random postcards. So what happened in this case is a Louisiana woman is accused of, ain't no accusing. I would say, okay, allegedly, because this is for entertainment purposes. However, y'all, this lady, and I'm gonna just get to the root of it. She her boyfriend has a daughter with the woman that he used to be with. She unalives this 6-year-old girl, puts her in a bucket, puts the bucket, her body in a bucket, puts the bucket in a wheelbarrow, not a wheelbarrow. I keep saying that. She puts the bucket into a wagon and she begins dragging it down the street. Gratitude Carbon. She begins dragging it down the street. She drags it to the mother's house and puts the bucket, leaves the bucket in the yard for the mother to find her 6-year-old baby in this bucket the next rising. The thing about this that really gets to me is, how are you so bold? How are you so bold to think that you could put your hand on somebody? And this is not the only case of this, it's happening a lot. How are you so bold that you think that you could put your hand on somebody's children? Like, you might as well have unalived yourself as well, because the wrath. And if you don't have that fear, what is it that we are not doing or setting within these individuals who are capable of this to let them know, not mine? Try it if you want to. Panel, have you heard of this story? What were your feelings in regards to this story?
After I saw my child in that barrel, I would have politely went in the house, got my thing, walked back down to that house, and it just would have been what it was. And I would have politely called 911 and sat and wait for them, because it just is what it is at this point. That's just me.
And I do want to say that let me look at my notes. There was, I can't use this word on here, but this situation happened. This is how it happened. And blunt force injuries as well. And a lot of people have been saying to be placed in the bucket. You know what they usually do to place someone in a bucket. That didn't happen. The kindergartner was folded and placed in the bucket.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Yes. Go
Come
Aubrey.
on.
Go Aubrey.
Come on, Hobbs.
What would make you so mad to where you feel like that you have to take somebody else's child? Like, that's the question. You want that man's penis that bad? Like, his penis is just that good for you to unalive somebody else's child. Like, what are we doing here? Is this the new age of, oh, I'm mad that you got a baby mama? Stop fucking these niggas that ain't shit. And you
Facts.
won't be in these particular situations and problems. I am sick. It's about who you giving your pussy and dick to. We really need to think about that. You giving it to Tom, Dick, and Harry, but Tom, Dick, and Harry got motherfuckers on their line. So you mad because he got a child with her. He couldn't have no child with you. Or however the situation may go afloat, whatever it is. But you felt it was good enough for you to go take this child's life. And it ain't even yours. Because you mad? Sis, you really gonna be mad when you figure out that everybody finna fuck you up. If you ain't already there already, sis.
Facts.
You're
Facts.
unalive before you even get into the cell.
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
Sweetheart, darling. What that
Mm-hmm.
judge tell that man a couple weeks ago, honey, I'd be glad if you probably live a year, 6 months, whatever. They probably gonna tell her the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
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 Yeah.
That's all I want to say.
Come on, Chaz.
No, I'm just agreeing with Aubrey. They don't play about people and their kids, and I just, it upset me. It's upsetting me seeing a lot of this news that's going about kids and all this unaliving and how they acting and all that. Like, it's no guidance out here. It's just these kids is left unprotected. Nobody's playing their part, and it's sad that it came down to that. You know what I'm saying? Like why? Like, it's that important? Like, the kids' feelings or whatever the case may be over whatever you may feel over this person at the time. That who's to say that was even gonna last? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's wild. Like, it's
Yes, it is. To say the least. To say the least.
okay.
Governess. Were you done or
Yeah, I'm good.
okay, governess? Did you want to say something?
Yeah. All I was gonna say was I agree with everybody on this panel. For me, she would have never made it anywhere close to the police station. She would have been a trophy dragging off the back of my car. Nobody's gonna touch it. They would have put me in the fucking psych ward because I would have been all over town, just beep beep, hey bitch, with this
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
because you like to drag shit. We all drag. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, yes,
You
I'm with it.
you know what? I wonder with you saying that, I wonder if they realized that it was her. I wonder if they, because the bucket pops up. They had to do the investigation to get all these neighbors who rose the next day and looked at
Someone
their
in the
ring
chat said she went
camera.
to the police station.
The mom went to,
What?
the lady went to the police
So she
station.
went there on her own. That's wild.
But what I'm saying is, I wonder if the mom, when she realized that this happened, like the footage that they had to pull when she saw it, I wonder if immediately she knew this bitch, excuse my language,
Yeah.
Carbon. I cursed Carbon. I cursed.
Get it?
This chick, this chick is the reason, because you know you have a lot of these situations where they're like, immediately as I was told, I knew it was this person. I wonder if this has been an ongoing situation. You know, like she couldn't have just showed up this crazy just one day out of the blue.
No, there had to be other instances where she did jealous shit. Like she was jealous of this child, probably didn't want the child around, and all kind of shit. This reminds me, real quick, of a story of, I think he's a clothing designer or a basketball player. His name was David something, where his girlfriend fucking killed him and put him in a room. His son had came over to the house type shit, looking for him, and she was like, oh, he went out for a run. Man was unalived in the bedroom. She done ran in there and closed the door, and when he was looking for the charger, she done ran in there and got the charger. Like, crazy as hell. She is missing, like, on the run right now. McKnight, G-Night. Like, what?
Whoa, that's insane. I ain't heard that one. That's insane.
So we
Crazy.
run after we kill people? That's what, I'm alive, my bad. Okay.
Well, I feel real bad for this baby. I really do. Malika, do you want to touch on this a little more? Or you?
Actually, I do, because in Baton Rouge, something else happened, family, and this is within the McKnight community. And so we're going to tap on this really quick before I wrap up Malika's corner of crimes. Listen, I loved it. Anyway, so let me tell the story this way, because it's going to get very confusing. So just bear with me, right? So you have a group of children, 6 or 7 siblings, and the mother passes away when they're at a very young age. And so the oldest sister takes responsibility for the family and starts to care for the younger siblings. So just recently, one of the brothers, he ends up being unalived, right? They have a family gathering. They're selling plates to raise money. One of the brothers begins to have a family altercation. They start bickering. At the event to raise this money, the family gathering for their brother that was just unalived, some gang situation that was happening with him, the brother who's arguing with the sisters, remember there's a lot of them. It's the older sister and one of the younger sisters who just recently had a baby. He shoots both of them. He unalives one, the one that just had the baby, and the other was in critical condition the last time that I had checked. Thoughts?
So did he kill the brother?
The brother was a whole different situation,
Okay.
allegedly.
Oh.
And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to, because now we're doing the corner of crimes thing. I'm gonna try to keep track of these cases, and if there's some like major updates, we'll come back and we'll touch on it, and I'll check into what's going on, because I know as of right now he has been charged with first-degree murder and attempted first-degree murder, Chaz. So that would just be in the case of his 2 sisters. There's no correlation or connection to the brother's passing outside of the fact that, like the story that we had previously with the aunt or the great aunt or whoever that had took out the nephew at their family event funeral. Is this just a thing now that's happening? the level of respect that you have for your family members, I mean, especially the level of respect you have for your now ancestral family members at their event, to just hold off on the bullshit and just make it through this without any back and forth, especially to the point where now you have attempted to unalive both of your siblings, including the one that raised you when your mother passed away. But it feels like there's a lot of unresolved trauma in this whole situation. And I feel like in our community, there's a lot of unresolved trauma, and it's sweeping under the rug rather than sitting down, hearing what we have to hear, taking accountability, owning it, being honest with each other. It's not, we're not seeing enough of that. And so then hence you have situations like this. But yes, Chaz, there's no tie as of right now to the brother being involved. But if he was capable of this, who knows? Who knows?
You just said
And
word now, though. I agree totally with what you just said about our community, like taking accountability and everything. Like, yeah,
Yeah. I don't even know what to say to that. That sounds like a whole damn soap opera or some shit. That is insane. And I know we do have a lot of dysfunctionality in our community, unfortunately, especially when it comes to our kids. And wouldn't you agree, Aubrey? As far as Brian McKnight and his children.
child, that's a situation within itself, honey. That's a whole situation and plethora within itself. So, Brian McKnight, honey, listen. He feels like because he has started his life over, that he gets to pick and choose when he wants to be a father. Um, so basically, I believe that it was one of his children's birthday or something like that, and he was celebrating the fact that she was the awesome daughter or something like that or whatever. But it basically indicates that he's trending after some controversial captions he made, not acknowledging the children that he had before his current marriage. People on social media pointed out that his Instagram bio includes the name of the stepchildren, but not the biological ones that he had before the current wife. So the post that he made was, "Today we celebrate you, Jules. On your birthday, your mom and I couldn't be prouder of you, and I couldn't ask for a better daughter than you. Happy birthday to the best daughter ever." His children from the first marriage took time to actually say some things about this particular situation. I'll read one. I'll do Brian McKnight Jr.
Read
and
First Corinthians.
and he quotes, "I can't imagine abandoning my children, man. It's hard not to imagine the psyche of a man who can truly just turn his back on his actual sons, on his actual blood and creations. It's mind boggling to me. I don't think that there is any situation that merits the way my father has chosen to treat my brother, my sisters, and his grandchildren, one of which being his firstborn son, who also bears our name. It's insane to me to have absolutely no empathy for the type of life be introduced to only to become, what to say? Oh, only to become to resent us for that life catching up with us. It breaks my heart, but not for myself, specifically for my siblings and my children. They don't deserve this at all, not one bit. And I'm not letting shit slide, not for 1 second. I've tried my best to take the high road and be the bigger man and all of that positive shit, but there's a much bigger issue here. Can't blah, blah, blah. When it comes to Black fathers, especially in entertainment, that needs to be addressed. I believe that there is a serious discussion that needs to be had, And a part of me truly feels like our story is the one to begin the conversation that will lead to healing a lot of young men and women with abandonment issues. It's time to tell our side of the story. Hashtag son of a legend. His daughter did take time to she wrote a full novel, but that's a lot of information there too. But if you guys can actually go to the post and you can see both of the posts, it's actually there if you swipe where everything is. I honestly feel like Brian is choosing purposely to redo this after all of the backlash that has been done to him in regards to allegedly beating the first wife, from what everyone indicated, because she told her story that she was a victim of domestic violence with him. And because she said something about this and it was a big humiliation deal to him, he began to live life with a Gino, of course. Isn't that what they do all the time? And they are pretty much happily ever after. And his first set of children, which are by a Melanite woman, are pretty much not thought about at all. So, cousins, panel, what do you think about this particular story? And do you feel that this is a choice that he is doing purposely, or is this something that he just doesn't want to deal with? Go ahead. Go ahead, Karen.
Oh, don't it just make you sick? Okay, first of all, this shit is real personal for me. Okay, let me tell you why. Love my father to life. May he rest in the spirit of Yehuda. However, my stepmom was a genome. And although they were junkies, I feel like he showed them more love than he showed to me. You know what I'm saying? I experienced things with my father that they did not experience. Okay. And they are his half children. Okay. He is the stepfather to them. Okay. Now, we see this a lot in the Melanite community, and I've spoken on this. It's not just biracial, interracial families. This is also inside of the Melanite community, period. Now, I know that he was trying to say that, oh, his children, they were lazy and only got high. They were a product of what the fuck you taught them. The son said, we were a product of the environment in which we were brought up. Then we were pretty much like chastised for doing what we knew, because he was fucking Brian McKnight. So they were spoiled children at some point. So you did not do your job and instill. The daughter said from the time she was little, she never got a happy birthday, not a happy birthday present. He never called her on any of the special occasions. So you still didn't do your job. You thought you can throw some money at the Melanite children and they would just be that. Word to the parents, male and female alike. Money does not fucking make you a parent. You must spend time, you must guide, you must train. You have to say, I love you. You need some hugs in there. You need to go sit in by the water together. Like, you need to do some shit to say that you're a fucking parent. And I just like to say, Naya did mention him. And from the deepest part of me, fuck you, Brian McKnight.
Well, Brian said it in his song. He was going back to one, and that is exactly what he did. He went back to one. Come on, Lee.
Speaking of songs, Carbon, I feel like when you are looking at an artist's behavior, you can look at their catalog of music and probably find a song somewhere in there that taps into what it is that will happen later on down the line. And there is a song that Brian McKnight has called My Prayer. And it's interesting because there's parts in this song, and this is from, like, I was a little girl when I used to hear my brother singing this song, like in the bathroom, just hitting all types of notes, right? And he says in here, just a few parts, I have been so far away, counting the time until today. So long I've waited for a chance when I could spend some time with you, just with you. You're growing so very fast. I know I'm always the very last to help you with the problem, to kiss your hurt if you should happen to fall down. And this song is definitely dedicated to his son, because he says what Quatita was just saying that I think he really needs to pay attention to is, when I'm gone, I need you here to carry on. My son, I know you will be strong. Like a burning flame, you're my claim. That's why you got my name. None of that fucking matters. If you ain't got the daddy, the claim, the name, babies don't give a fuck about who is celebrating you out in these streets if you're not coming home and celebrating your children.
Malik, I just saw an interview he did today. Oh, I don't know if he did it today, but I saw the interview today where he said all those songs he won awards for and all those songs meant nothing. It's only recent songs that he wrote about his new family that meant something.
Of course,
That
because you know what that is. That is, I just had this conversation last night. Aubrey, I love you. I am so sick of the entertainment industry. Every time that I sit and have a conversation, it seems like the more I step away from it, the more I realize how warped and how chaotic the mind of the creative is. And mind you, I'm obviously speaking about myself too, because I've been there, done that, and I'm a creative. Most of us who are know that we're dealing with certain traumas, and it's the creative release that creates the healing, which is why so many people gravitate towards it. But it's these kinds of artists where, when people were spending their money and you were walking onto set for the Steve Harvey show and pretending like you were singing something and meaning it, when you were pushing all this music and people were dropping their coin and saying, oh my gosh, I feel like you were singing to me. And you're like, yeah, you know, this is our life. This is what we do as creatives, and all of this, have so many people looking up to you, for you to now forget all of that. So not only are you irresponsible with your children's feelings, you're irresponsible with the feelings of the individuals who have been following you since day one, that you connected to based on that music you created, by now denying that music ever even meant anything to you. But you took those checks. You spent that money. You used that money to be a reason that you loved your son. How sad are you? How disgusting is that? And how dare you come around later on and talk about your children as if that is not a direct reflection and definition of who you are as a person? Because my child does not become who my child is unless I had something to do with that. And as a parent, I take full responsibility for it. I'm sorry, Carbon. Go ahead. I need to go
no, no,
on
no.
mute
I was just
because
gonna I was just gonna piggyback over on what you just said. I say it all the time. You created that monster. Now you have to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? You created those monsters. They became too much for you. Now you just gonna discard them like that? Like, who does that? You
but
created
Carbon, they're
that.
not
No.
monsters.
Y'all
Sorry,
gotta
go
go
ahead,
to
No, no, no.
Carbon.
I'm just talking about if they're spoiled and entitled, and if they have that kind of mentality or an attitude. If you know what I'm saying, you
But
created that.
but who knows if they're that? How
I'm
can
just
you
saying.
define? Right, I completely
Yeah,
get it. But when we
yeah. I got you.
dissect it, right? When we dissect it, I hear people say all the time, they will see a 3-year-old and be like, oh, she's bad. Oh, that girl just gonna be bad her whole life. Oh, she just bad. Oh, the other family members, their children, they behave. Oh, did you see her daughter? You know, she's the bad one. They'll say it in front of their face. There's these cute siblings. I'm not gonna use the name because I love them, but they keep utilizing them and they make them get into drama every week, whether it's tearing up one's doll or, and the things that they are in, they're putting a light on or utilizing. And do what you do with your children, because they're not mine and I ain't got to pay the therapy bill later on. But they're utilizing the drama, like what we were saying earlier with the other lady and that young girl. They're utilizing that and highlighting it and feeling like this is something to celebrate. Like, people define who the children are. So even when we say you're turning your children into monsters, no, you're a monster who is trying to shift the path of your amazing child to make them a reflection of the monster that it is that you are, because you don't want to see them better than you. And so you allow things that are equivalent to your despair or worse to fall onto your children, and then hang a hat like you're a proud parent or you're doing something because you get a check and you can put food on the table. You ain't shit. If you're not sitting with your children, if you can't have a conversation with your children without them getting offended, if you cannot have a conversation with your children without them getting offended, there is work to do. If you can't sit and listen to your children's issues the same way you listen to everybody at your job and be nosy and be gossiping and on the phone with your best friend and running it up and on TikTok in everybody's business, if you can't do that for your child, you ain't shit. Period, point blank. And it is what it is. So I appreciate you, Carbon, for saying that, because I never thought of it that way. I've never thought that. Yeah, I love y'all. They are not the monsters. It's the parents that are the monsters. And we got to stop putting that on them, because all these children we see reacting, all these babies on the ledge, Quatita, all these babies on the ledge that we're seeing, they're getting the blame that a lot of their parents should be catching. And
Facts.
that's that
Well
on that.
said. Well said. I stand corrected. Okay. No, no, I'm just playing. Okay, y'all. We coming up on top of the hour. We need to go and pay some of these bills real quick. So we gonna be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Powerful, captivating, indulgent, riveting.
You hear the rumble of the earth.
High Council, Affirmation, Oracle, and Tarot Deck. Available for pre-sale now, only on www.awalkwiththeancestors.
They say do everything with attention. From my hands to yours. May you receive all the energy and everything you need it to be. Ashe.
Hey y'all, and we're back. We are back. We are back. So chat. What was it?
Real quick.
Yes, ma'am.
So we have sponsorship slots available, and for those people that are our sponsors, because we missed last week, you get an extra free week. So whatever your due date is, attach an extra week on that, okay? And we'll be good. Make sure you're checking your due dates though, okay? Yes, and we have sponsorship slots available for our stuff that we do around him. And be aware that Miss Audria B will be doing our Let's Have the Conversation newsletter and blog. She will be attending to the Let's Have the Conversation Instagram as well. So gratitude to Audria B for the great work that you'll be doing with us. Proceed, please. Gratitude.
No worries, no worries. Y'all get them sponsorships, y'all. So, Chaz, we're gonna kick it over to you. Now you know what they lying about at these hotels, baby. Go on and break it down for us.
You got the video, Chaz?
Yeah, I got the video. I had that's what I was doing the whole beginning of the
Chaz looking cute.
Gratitude.
Right.
Gratitude, everyone. So basically, as we all know, Malika speak on it. We've been speaking on it for about years now, about these hotels and how you gotta basically go in here, you gotta watch everything. You know what I'm saying? Open up cabinets, look behind stuff just to make sure, ain't nobody trying to come get you, you know what I'm saying, while you sleep, you know what I'm saying? Just saying being protected here. So I got a little TikTok video I'm gonna show you guys. And basically what's going on is here, he's going through all these compartments and he found this door. Y'all swear out, listen. So basically, that's the end of that video. My question is to everyone, like, what would you do, like, if you know, you just searching, making sure, you know what I'm saying, which I hope everybody's doing when they go into these hotels, because you never know. To, you know, you see a little compartment, you know, you find something like that, like, how would you feel? Like, my thing is, what would you be suspicious to go check and find out what it is down there? You know what I'm saying? Or like, what we doing in this situation?
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I don't check. I just check in and then enjoy the hotel. So I probably would be getting dragged through the motherfucking hole if there's something through there, to be honest with you, because I don't think about, "Ooh, let me go, you know, X Files and look through and play the Stranger Things theme song and go ahead and think somebody's gonna come get me." I like to be in my perfect little world where, bitch, you gave me the key, they cleaned it, I'm up in this hoe. But if I were to see anything, I would not investigate. I would not. I would just make sure that nothing comes through that whole entire time, through that little portal. It's a no for me. Block it just so I know there's no trafficking. You're not coming to pull me through, to slob on no knobs, lock me down nowhere. It ain't gonna be nothing like that. None of that.
But what if you have kids and you step out? You know what I'm saying? What if you have kids and you step out? And you know what I'm saying, you're not thinking because you didn't check the room or anything like that. But it might be a hidden camera in there. You never know in these hotels. You know, they got these mirrors now and stuff. If you don't check them, they got stuff inside of the mirrors, all type of devices in there. But
You scaring me, Big Bank. You making me think that this is American Horror Story
hey,
Hotel.
you never know. You never know. Especially you know, especially us. Well, I ain't going to even say traveling outside of the states, because the states seem like it's got a lot going on here too. But you know, you just got to be a lot more careful. You never know who's looking and watching you. And I just go to say that, like Malika said, make sure when somebody asks you your room number, you don't say it out loud. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Don't say it out loud.
I want
Okay.
to bring up something that it reminds me of. I don't know if you guys ever heard this story about the Cecil Hotel, or Cecil, or Hotel Cecil, and I don't know if you guys seen the documentary on it, but it was very weird. You know, if you guys don't know, or the committee doesn't know, basically this hotel, I think it's in LA. I looked it up. It's in LA, and it
Downtown LA.
basically, yep, they said there's been around 17 deaths, probably more than that, but it basically, the hotel is known for like just a lot of violence that goes on in it, and like basically it's still running and it's still going, and it just makes me feel like you have to really be aware of the history of these hotels, and not only what's going on currently, but what has previously went on, because you know it goes on for so long for a reason. You know, like this stuff is not happening for so long because nobody could figure out why it's happening. It happens for so long because that's the place it's supposed to happen at. So do some research on the hotel that you might visit, especially if it's a popular hotel, because you never know what previously happened.
Well, I want to go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, now I just want to piggyback off of Terman real quick. Cecil Hotel, for the y'all that don't know, is the hotel Richard Ramirez was living at. Major serial killers stayed at that hotel. People will go disappearing from that hotel all the time. Lisa Lamb. Have you ever heard the Lisa Lamb story? The little Asian girl that went to the Cecil Hotel, got in the elevator, got out the elevator, disappeared, and they ended up finding her in the water tower. That's the Cecil Hotel. Come on, Malik's.
So I was just
Gratitude for
going to
that.
say, that, Chaz, those mirrors, they've had them for a long time. I remember my mom showing me a trick, and I can't remember what the details are, but I'm sure we could find it on the internet. I used to do it when I would travel with my homegirls. But if you put your finger against the mirror, there's a way to tell if it's a two-way mirror, or if it's like a real mirror. Like if your finger touches on the other end, that means something. If there's a gap in between your finger and the reflection, that means something else. I don't remember exactly what it is though, but once I figure it back out again, I will share it with you all. But there are ways to test this, and there's actually a video circulating now, Chaz, where it's not just the hotels, it's the Airbnbs first and foremost. And there was a man, the video is circulating, I just saw it maybe yesterday, where it was his house that he was renting. And he was saying that he's going to tear up the landlord. He done tore all the walls out the house. There's cameras in his children's room, bathroom. But someone in the comment made a very interesting comment, which was, how do you know it wasn't the previous tenant that's been watching them this whole time? And the landlord is just unaware because they hid it really good. I mean, to answer your question, Ro and I, he does a sweep through, especially if we have the well, now I can't say babies because Elijah's grown, but if we have the baby with us, then he'll do the sweep through. But when it comes to Airbnbs and stuff, when we travel on our own, go ahead and put a camera in there if you want to. You don't get a whole show because and player.
That's too funny. Hey, I don't know if you remember, Leaks. We talked about that on the show. It was a while back, but we talked about that whole them.
We talked about me and Ro putting on a show.
No, Freak a Leak. No, I'm talking about. I'm talking about when old boy was knocking the holes in the wall, pulling out the cameras and all that. Yeah, I remember that. And at any rate,
and
but yeah, that's
with your weapons. Sorry,
yes.
travel with your weapons. So if you do, like, if we ever got a surprise, when we travel, we have one for under our pillow and one for in the drawer. And if I'm traveling with my friends, if Ro doesn't convince me out of it, I'm bringing the big one that you have to and put it in the trunk just in case we got to run and we got it right. Cartita already know. And that's the one that's coming.
Look, ask Chaz. You could ask Chaz. I had tasers, batons. I had scanners and shit for the just the cameras and shit. Yeah, baby. If you stay ready, you gotta get ready. You gotta get ready. I'm just saying.
All the gadgets, yo. Listen.
I did, baby. You got to have the protection. You can cut somebody, stab somebody. Yay.
Inspector Gadget head ass.
Hey, it is what it is. But all I know, if I find some shit like that, I'ma whoop somebody's ass, just like these children's asses needed to be whooped at this damn school for jumping this principal and making her have a seizure. How do we feel about this? Do we have a video or anything?
We do have a video.
Okay.
Let me pull it. Hold on, I gotta turn the volume up. And make sure that my let's have the conversation is muted. Okay, here we go. Okay, so what you're seeing here is you're seeing the two young, and I'm sorry, I guess because the iPad, the reflection is horrible. Don't be looking at my business at the top either, y'all. Any hubs up here? No.
Listen,
okay,
Malika, you was moving the camera like you was in the fight in there. Like,
sorry, my bad. I was trying to figure out, cause see the reflection. Y'all can see the reflection if y'all see. And yeah, so maybe somebody else can play the videos from their WhatsApp because they're all in there. But so there's the two young ladies that are fighting, and then you have the assistant principal who runs in and attempts to save the day. She thinks she's going to break up this fight, and instead the crowd in the hallway turns on her. They begin to yell, kick that hoe, all different types of stuff, and she ends up in a seizure. They all jumped her. All of the students jumped the assistant principal. Thoughts?
What happened? Like, what occurred?
I'm trying to understand too.
So two students was fighting.
They was
we knucking, we bucking, we acting. Girl, it was knuck if you buck going on. It was the only thing that was going on in my motherfucking head.
What did she do?
Knuck if you buck.
What?
At that point, it's just mob mentality. At that point,
back to with these principals because they have high horses too.
That's
I'm gonna suspend
They
you
do.
for 3 days because you got this braid style in your head, and I told you not to come in here with no motherfucking.
Aubrey is right. They do
you
that.
You have some of these principals. They are just because she had a seizure. I like. Listen, sis, good.
Good point.
Okay, great. Listen. We need to get to the bottom of the story. There's always two sides to the story. You were just recording getting whooped, okay? Your seizure has happened, but we need to know what happened before then.
That's what I'm saying. What happened?
Why all these pupils jump on you?
That was a whole class.
It was a legislation. You know how they do the end of the year senior prank? Everybody's like, for the prank, we whooping this bitch's ass because she done fuck with you. And then they done called her into the hallway. Hey, Mrs. So-and-so. Come on, y'all, get y'all in, get yours in. I mean, everybody was getting their licks in. Everybody was getting that lick back. Boom, boom, boom.
But
And you saw my
Assistant
mama took
Principal
hers.
Johnson didn't tell you that she was just picking on Lativia and Courtney in the bathroom because they was taking too long. And she didn't call the security guard to get them up out of there. And now they in ISS, in school suspension, because they were allegedly skipping class.
Not to dismiss. I just seen somebody say they lucky that she didn't get unalive. Yes, luckily. Luckily that didn't happen because that would have been,
I heard one of the colleagues. She loved those children. I just don't understand why they would do that. I mean,
They
she.
love them.
And I was like, well, okay, well,
Ain't no telling what be going on inside these schools now. Honestly, with these teachers and listen.
I mean, everybody's fighting up in them. We've been told take them out the schools, so I don't even know what
Yo,
to
right.
say.
So it's like either a teacher doing something to the kids or the kids doing something to the teachers nowadays. And like, what's going on
But
here?
again, at least they weren't unalive. But
Okay.
Come on, Governor.
I'm gonna be the different voice here. I want to whip all their asses. Because first of all, what happened to the shit that happened in Chicago? They swept that on. We ain't heard nothing else about it. But okay, so this I told you was setting the precedence of what was getting ready to start happening. This is what we're seeing, and not to mention, if I can just do an honorable mention real quick, the plain genome who don't hold a badge that just choked the man out for 15 minutes and killed Tim, unalived Tim. Nobody came to his rescue. So when you seeing that, and then you have the mentality of these children, this is the energy that is being placed out here. So yeah, we seeing it happen to like genomes and teachers and substitute teachers, but this shit is really because again, when they say protect the children, this is part of that. You have to protect their mental as well, and nobody the fuck is doing that. So it goes from that again. Pay attention. It goes from that jumping the genome at her front door to beating the principal unconsciously into a seizure. So then what happens when they're at the bus stop and there's an old lady, or they're just walking the streets because they were setting the stage for the purge, remember? That's what's happening right now. We're setting the stage. You come to my door, I'm going to blow a hole in your children. I swear to you, I will.
Facts.
I don't want you to get on the news talking about how great little Timmy is, because I'm going to be like, that bitch is a lie. That's a monster. Because you're not protecting the children's mentality. They don't know what they're doing. They're children. But if they come to my door, they don't know nothing else. I'm going to be the last person they see that day. I'm just telling you now. I'm going to put a hole in your children.
I'm not mad. It is what it is. Totally is. Leaks, was you going to say something?
I was gonna say, governors, I don't know if you've seen yet the newest one to add to the list that you just had, but it's there's Latin, Melanite, and maybe like one or two genomes in the video, but they're having a drag race. You know how they do the drag races in the middle of the street, and this genome man comes walking through, and I don't know what he's told them. I don't know how he said it, but he's pretty much like, y'all stop doing, like they're circling in the smoke and the wheels and all of this stuff. And he said something as he's walking past, and when I say they all jumped him, I mean, I was pretty sure he was taking his last breath on that floor, and then they flipped him over. I didn't know that the head moved like that when it gets kicked, but they showed this video clean as ever, and it kind of like swiveled and then came back. And at this point, his eyes weren't open. Then they flipped him over. They continued to do it. Then that one of them, who I'm wondering what his experiences and trauma have been as a child, because he decided to raise up his backside and put him on his knees in a downward doggish kind of position. And then he takes his foot and kicks him right in his area and pushes him forward back onto the pavement. And then another one of the teens comes over and they put up an orange bucket on top of his head As he's laying on the floor, all I saw was a lot of red fluid. And before they put the bucket on the head, they put the bucket on there, and then they went back to drag racing and in the cars, just spinning
Okay.
and celebrating.
But let me tell you something. Let me, Malik.
They're
Y'all,
trying to set it up.
y'all, please look at this. What did the children? What was mandated when the children went back to school? The sticky pokey, right?
Yeah, the sticky pokey. Mm-hmm.
There's something happening here. There's something happening, especially when I'm telling you, they're setting this. What they say on that one channel, they running plays. They're running plays. This is what a run play is. When you have a genome get 5 hours of probation type shit for running through a crowd of people with a car viciously. When you have the Melanite girl going through traffic and running into cars, she gets life. This genome got 5 hours? 5 hours. Like Malika said, that's how long the fuck I was on a bus and a plane. Like you can drive 5 hours. What are we talking about? These motherfuckers probably can be traced back to taking the jabs. Your children was mandated. We fucking told you to take your children out of school. But people's hands are tied. I can't do nothing. I gotta take them to school. Okay. No fucking problem then. Because what is happening in the schools, see, it ain't just them attacking the teachers. Don't forget, you got the principals and you got the security and the police that's in there slamming your fucking children around, pulling them by their fucking hair too. Where do they do this shit at? Knock it the fuck off, bro. Nobody is protecting the children. Now these motherfuckers just running through everything. They don't give a fuck. You should be telling them where to put this energy. Do not be afraid to train your children. They're doing it incorrectly. Now, just like they did with the motherfucking PPP loans, bitch, how that shit came back. You can think that this shit is going to lie dormant if the fuck you want to. Your children are going to jail. They're changing laws. There are no laws, bitch. Didn't you hear that man say they hanging and executing people? They have just changed the law to where they're bringing hangings back. You think your kids is going to jail? That's what you think. You'll watch these motherfuckers hang because that's what they want to do.
Are we still calling it the sticky pokey? I mean, I'm just asking. Okay, let's stick with that. If you have a friend who's Jamaican, ask them what a sticky pokey is and get back to me. Mute.
Meanwhile, you have, let me go to this one next. Let's just roll with it. Because meanwhile, you have this. China schools and the AI agenda. They over there training the fuck out of their children. You don't see that in China. You see that shit in China? I bet the fuck you do not. I bet you don't. They have these children over there with headsets on. They monitoring the way that they think. They're using AI like a motherfucker. And how they got there was this shit right here. Come on, Charming.
Hello, greetings, everyone. So, I don't know if you guys remember last time Carbon brought up the salt and how he's seen a video and how he's seen a video of. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I apologize. Anyway, so he brought up the salt and how the video kind of explained about how it might keep you attached to your physical body. Basically keep you from being able to like transcend and ascend to the next dimension. So the question we had was, so like, what salt are we supposed to use? Like, if that salt is, you know, kind of keeping us attached, and you can look at kind of what salt does to water in the body and like stuff like that, and it kind of explains it. It makes sense if you understand like the as above, so below aspect of it. So I was scrolling and then I came across a post about cell salts. And I had like learned about cell salts a couple years ago, but I never like really went into it. Can you guys hear that in the back? Okay, it's loud here, so I just had to check. Okay, so basically, I hope you guys got your notebooks because class time. So we're learning about cell salts, also known as tissue salts, or the 12 salts. So what are they? So cell salts are homeopathic preparations of 12 mineral compounds that are supposedly found in all living things. I will list them off when I'm done kind of explaining it, because I'm going to kind of list off like where you can find each of the cell salts and stuff like that. So Dr. William Schlusser, a German doctor and homeopath, was investigating human blood and ashes after death, and basically found that certain materials were a part of every cell in the body as he was doing his searching. And if you know anything about alchemy, when you have ashes, when you like burn a material and you have the ashes, you have like the basic form of that material. So yes, look into alchemy. And so what he found were that diseases and the abnormal states of the cells would occur when there were deficiencies in these 12 cell salts. So so basically, if you can supply your body sorry guys. So basically, if you could supply the body with the right combination of these cell salts, you can restore your body, and you don't need the chemicals, and you don't need all of these other things to kind of remedy those problems. So not only that, let me see. They basically, it says they also work by enabling the cells to better assimilate and utilize the mineral compounds that are basically in homeopathy. So it can be used to replace a lost or needed mineral. It could also be used to assimilate nutrients from diet or supplementation. So, for example, if you break a bone and you take calcium, they say it's crude calcium, which doesn't go into the bones. It goes into arteries, veins, organs, so on and so forth. But when you take the tissue salt, calcium phosphate, alchemy ashes, yep. When you take the tissue salt, calcium phosphate, it would help supply a source of calcium in a safe way, and it would also help the body assimilate the crude calcium that you would get through foods, or the calcium that you get through foods and your green leafy vegetables and stuff like that. So there's that. So it's really deep. I suggest you really look into it and go deeper into it yourself. But what I'm going to get into next is how the 12 salts relate to our zodiac signs. So with each sign, and if you know about the astrology, we all have a combination of signs in our chart, and you're more than likely ruled by one or two or even three signs, sometimes more. But with that, you're likely to have a certain deficiency in your body. So I'm going to read off the signs, and I'm going to try to go fast and read off the foods. So if you hear your sign, take note and then go look further into it and look at all the other signs as well. So Aries is potassium phosphate. It's good for the brain, brain food, and nerve and brain imbalances. Parsley, beans, beets, carrots, linseed meal, peanuts, buttermilk, cheese, avocados. Next, bile salts. I wonder what that is. So next is Taurus. For Taurus, it's sodium sulfate, said to be good in regulating the water supply in the body system, decreasing or increasing it as needed. Foods would be cauliflower, lettuce, cabbage, turnips, radishes, onions, so on and so forth. Gemini, potassium chloride, good for forming and distributing fibrin throughout the body, thereby moderating coagulation, which is a blood thing. When clogging occurs, it's associated with sinus and throat problems as well as fibrous growth. Foods containing these would be cheese, egg yolks, radishes, coconuts, lentils, carrots, spinach, asparagus, sauerkraut. Cancer, calcium fluoride, good for muscles and ligament toning, helping prevent muscle prolapsing. So as well as healthy teeth. Foods would be turnips, asparagus, beets, goat cheese, kelp, garlic, pineapple. For Leo, magnesium phosphate, good for healthy nerve tissue, assisting in nerve transmission, which is funny because Yehuda is a spirit, so obvious. So foods containing this would be cauliflower, cabbage, asparagus, beech nuts, almonds, lemons, limes, oranges, so on and so forth. Virgo, potassium sulfate, good for circulation of oils through the body, which assist in digestion and kidney function and excretion of toxins through skin. Food would be cauliflower, lettuce, cabbage, onions, celery, Brussels sprouts. Libra, sodium phosphate, said to be good for balancing the acid alkaline functions in our bodies, helping all acid conditions which affect the nervous system. Food would be cottage cheese, eggs, buttermilk, brown rice, tomato juice, citrus fruits, vegetable greens, so on. So for Scorpio would be calcium sulfate, said to be good for building and sustaining epithelial tissue, thus supposedly good for all skin diseases. Foods containing this salt would be cauliflower, lettuce, cabbage, turnips, radishes, egg yolk, celery, so on. Sagittarius, silica, said to be good for building and maintaining skin, hair, nails, and nerve coverings, as well as decomposed matter from the skin. Foods would be endive, barley, oats, raw cabbage, cucumber skins, shredded wheat, rye, and more. Capricorn would be calcium phosphate, said to be good as a bone builder and helpful in any bone disease. Foods would be parsley, beans, beets, carrots, linseed meal, so on and so forth. That was like kind of similar to Aries as well. Aquarius, I'm almost done, guys. Aquarius, sodium chloride, said to be good for regulating the water supply throughout the body and affecting elimination and how cool or hot we are, regardless of the temperature. So that would be your emotional regulation. Foods containing this would be onions, celery, tomatoes, almonds, apples, peaches, Swiss chard, so on and so forth. And last would be Pisces, would be ferrous phosphate, said to be good for transporting oxygen throughout the body, thus aiding circulation, which assists the purifying and stimulating of internal organs. Foods would be raisins, prunes, plums, grapes, figs, oranges, spinach, mushrooms, beets, and more. So basically, you don't have to take these salts based off of your zodiac sign, but that would be a good place to start because you're more than likely showing signs of disease and deficiency in those areas. So I know that was a long one. I'm
No,
glad we
but I
got
have
to
a
it.
question because I'm listening to the list, but it seems like a lot of the food is horrible for the body.
That's what I was thinking. So I was thinking like we would have to go through it. So like what foods were you listening off?
Cheese, milk, eggs,
Right.
all the
So
dairy.
yeah, I mean, and I guess that this would be like a really basic list, and it would be up to us to kind of really narrow it down to what we truly would believe would provide that for us, because a lot of people believe that eggs are good for you, and then you know some people understand like raw milk as being better for you than regular milk, and just so on and so forth. So I guess that would be up to us to figure out what we believe can provide us with those cell salts.
Now, I did have something as well. It's different from the food and just strictly on the salts. Pertaining to how we're in the Mercury retrograde and whatnot, if people actually just took the salt and applied those with their zodiac signs, so say we're going into a Scorpio lunar eclipse, coming up the full moon, if we start doing things based off of the zodiac sign, the moon sign, with those salts on top of our own sign, would that like create a balance within us to help us like recalibrate our DNA? I don't know. That's what I was thinking listening to that.
I think so, because even when I was reading, it basically says like you can combine them. Like you want to combine them, even if it's for like something small like a cold. You want to combine, like, so it says, you know, you would combine calcium phosphate with ferrum phosphate or ferrous phosphate, taking 3 of each every 10 minutes at the first sign of a cold. So you're basically, I think you're right, because those signs would affect us as well. And so they would probably create a deficiency in that area, because we need to heal or recover that area, you know, as above, so below, inside and outside.
All right, that's all I want to know.
Are there also things that we should with the signs? Because I love the food connected to the signs. I've never heard that before. Are there things that we absolutely should not be having? Like, does it go into that when it comes to our sign?
I don't think so, because this is more so about what you don't have already. So it's more so like it's supplying your body with basically the basic tissue salts that your body needs to function fully. And so I don't know if it goes into what you shouldn't have, but more so of what you can receive to bring balance.
So pineapples all day.
Right. And then these salts you can buy these salts as well. So you can go and look, you know, do your research on the health or the quality of the salts. But basically that was what they were saying, is when you take the tissue salts, it also helps you to absorb it when you consume it through foods as well.
That's dope. That's dope. Well, gratitude for all that information, Charming. We really appreciate it. Wealth of knowledge, as per usual. Hopefully, the committee, y'all took y'all notes. But before we move on, we got to pay some more bills real quick. So we're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back after a word from our sponsors, folks.
They say do everything with attention. From my hands.
Powerful, captivating, Indulgent. Riveting.
You hear the rumble of the earth. A
High
glad
Council,
stirring mother's
Affirmation,
flame.
Oracle, and Tarot Deck. Available for pre-sale now, only on www. I sit, close my eyes, inhale and exhale, and ask myself, what is it within us that makes us give up on our own experiences based on the beliefs of others? How is it that beings, even societies who in so many ways exemplify strength based on societal norms, find comforting ease with going with what is popular presented rather than what is? Why limit self to some when you can have all? I am living my life as it comes to me, aligned with those that I can learn from as they learn from me, those that will not attempt to mold me into the perfect fit for their journey, but rather provide guidance if they sense I am straying from my path. Regardless of who we are or have been within our personal journey, we complement each other within the blessing of the experience that is us. I am living my life in the realization that that which supersedes is my ability to understand that my personal experience and the results of that is what takes precedence when it comes to the formation of my being and my personal belief system. I am aware that my beliefs, those which guide me, may have fact energy within my journey, but should be received as opinion to others, as this ensures that they before any are the grand creators of their journey, as I am of mine. This is the beauty rather than the conflict of difference of opinion, as we were all brought here to play a part, not to please others, but rather to be exactly who we are uniquely for the betterment of self, which then carries over to the betterment of all. Grand Rising.
All right, we back. All right. So y'all, it's just apparent this day and age ain't shit safe. Not your image, not your voice, not a nan, not that. You know what I'm saying? So with that said, come on, Malika, help us out. Tell us what this is about.
Okay, and if I can just quickly say, if you all have not checked out Chandrika's products yet, listen. I have not done my review as of yet because I need the artwork up on my wall, and Ro has to put it up in my space that we're creating before I can do so. But when I say amazing, the packaging, everything, it's just believe me when y'all know it ain't an experience if it ain't Grand Rising. Well, that's a lie, because the products that you have up here between the tarot, Quatita, Chaz, everyone, but I need y'all to check out Chandrika. Okay, so when it comes to AI, right? Okay. I don't know if all of you have seen panel committee cousins that they have been utilizing AI to create these songs. So like they will take Jose, give me an artist because you
They
have all
took
their names.
Nicki Minaj, Ariana Grande. They just did Beyonce. Yes, you know I've got them all. There's a few names
I
too.
knew you. I knew you would. I knew you would. So they'll take one artist song and put another artist's voice to it. And these have been circulating. Even Drake got very upset, and that's not an allegedly. He put it in his story. He was upset they used his voice and they kept playing with it and put him on other songs. Anyway, everybody's been focused on this, but there is a post that I saw that brought up a very interesting fact, and I want us to all be aware of it because there are scams. Quatiter has mentioned, Governance has mentioned that it's also been in movies where we've seen it before, where what they will do is now with that technology, we're seeing it in real time now. They can use your child's voice. They only need a few key phrases, right? And they can create a message, a dialogue, so that they can call you and have your children talking to you, which has happened where adults think that their children are kidnapped and that there's a ransom, and they believe it because they hear their child's voice and they are sure that their child is screaming in the background. But flip it, this gentleman had brought this up. Please be aware that they can also utilize your voice, and they can send your child a phone call and tell them, hey, I just got the groceries, I'm pulling up, open up the door, I'm coming inside. So let's all please be very aware, be making sure that our children know about this technology. Create your secret codes. When Elijah was younger, we had poo poo nunu, don't ask me why. That was our secret code. We knew no one was going to guess it. I'm not going to say nice because, I might have to catch somebody. But create your secret codes with your children so that they can say, okay, well, what's the code to open up the door? And then, That way, you know, you're safe. But we have to pay attention to how these things are changing and how they may affect us and how they can use it. The other important key thing that he gave in there, and I want to hear your opinion on this, cousins. What about with the issue of people giving themselves up with crimes? Because he also mentioned that, like utilizing your voice and making it seem as though you admitted to committing a crime that you did not commit.
That's wild.
So that means there has to be, if this is out here, there is software out there as it's got to be a voice authentication kind of thing. It's got to be if this is out here, and that's where we are. Like, really, you're gonna have to run your voice through a voice authentication and your image through.
So this is my thing. So they out here creating all this AI, and now that it's turning on them, now they want to try to come back and try to warn everybody about what's going on when they knew in they sick minds that this was a possibility that this might happen. It's wild.
According to Dick Gregory, AI has been out of control. They're just now admitting it.
Exactly.
Hmm. Hmm. Anybody else want to touch?
Before we get into Elon Musk being muskier, has anyone else noticed that on Twitter they are saying from Earth? Why would you say that? Why are we saying that now? From Earth. Where else would we be from?
Right.
What do we need to keep our eyes on in that aspect? I'm just wondering, what should we be seeing with that and how that's going to grow? Are we going to start seeing how there are other people who already are on Mars and on the moon tweeting from there? From what we know, they've already bought and have establishments and real estate there. I just hope we keep our eyes open because that's a lot of a big thing there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I didn't even think about that. That's a great point for sure. But yeah, let's go on and hop into this Elon Musk, and it's also with the AI. Elon Musk's ex-girlfriend is about to break down what the that whole little clique's intentions are. Okay, here we go, y'all. I'll dig it out. Damn.
Most of the communists I know are not big.
Oh damn. Hold on, y'all. I'm fucking up.
You're doing better than me, Carbon. It's okay.
Communists I know are not big fans of AI. But if you think about it, AI is actually the fastest path to communism. So, if implemented correctly, AI could actually theoretically solve for abundance. Like, we could totally get to a situation where nobody has to work, everybody is provided for with a comfortable state of being, comfortable living. AI could automate all the farming, weed out systematic corruption, thereby bringing us to as close as possible to genuine equality. So basically, everything that everybody loves about communism, but without the collective farm. Because let's be real, enforced farming is really not a vibe.
So yeah, just a little insight to their little sick minds and how they, what's up?
Hey, ain't that what the fuck that man said about Donald Trump earlier?
Yes.
So that's the other agenda. It's similar, but it's a difference somewhere in there, ain't it?
Just a
little
different
bit.
twist. That's why her name's is Grimes, because she's grimier than a motherfucker. Because bitch, you try to throw that in real fly like and try to, yeah, and we're not gonna implement too much because you guys can get abundance from doing this and this. Bitch, you want people to say
Quality,
yes.
and we're going to tell you how to live. Everybody will have their own money that we'll provide for them.
Exactly.
Yes.
No, same shit. Yeah, they try to slick talk that shit right on up in there.
Chaz, I can't focus because you look like a player from 1970.
Let me learn you something. Let me
Between
learn you
Chaz and
something.
Jose, I don't know what to do. Jose over there looking like I don't know. Like, where'd my baby go?
Rico Suave.
Right, Suave up there.
Both of them. I'm trying not to look in that direction. Like,
Right. That's too funny. That is too funny. But yeah, y'all. So, but yeah, I feel like it's definitely just a different tweak, just a little different, but it's the same shit. Different, but a little different.
Does it remind anyone of Black Mirror?
Yes. And they're coming out with a new season.
It's 2 different episodes that remind me of. But one, it has the black guy, the Melanite from Get Out.
And they're in that gym session where he's like
Oh yeah.
auditioning and going into that room doing certain things.
Yeah, and they have a certain thing they do every day. They eat out of the machines every day. Like, and don't forget that was also in the world reading, and we're now seeing it. I had not seen it. I guess I don't know if it had been out before or what, but the food directly out of the vending machines. Like, we are not paying attention, y'all. That shit is like Black Mirror.
That's crazy.
You know, I want to look into what other pieces of work the creators of Black Mirror have made, because there's so many things that they dropped in those series that have come to play, even down to the social currency, and what that looks like in that one episode where like you actually rent your apartment based on your number of likes, and we're seeing that with the digital
Yeah.
currency and stuff now.
Yes.
There's so many. I have to go back and watch it now
They're
and
doing
see.
something similar to that right now in China.
You know, there's an
Yes.
episode.
Yep.
The
It's
credit,
about
they're like the credit something. I'm sorry, Jose. go
Social
ahead.
credit.
Of
Mhm.
course,
my bad.
yeah.
I was just gonna
Social.
say there's an episode that reminds me of like the consciousness swap. You remember when it was the young lady, she kept going back to the 70s and she was in love with the genome, and they had like a lesbian relationship, but it was the consciousness swap where her real body was like in a hospital. And oh my gosh, that one was crazy. I actually cried on that one. And she fell in love with her, and she had to like say, do you want to be here or do you want to actually be there? Because you're no longer there, you might as well come here. Let's make it be, and you can be who you really are here.
I remember
That
that.
was a crazy one as well. It reminds me of Severance a little bit because
I
your
remember
Yes.
consciousness is in
Yes.
two different areas.
Yes.
So I'm wondering, because y'all just put me onto a show, and please let everybody know the name of it. You might have already, and I might have missed it, but the one with the tracking eyeballs, because in
Thief?
Black Mirror, yes, in Black Mirror, they had the episode with that also. He found out that his wife was messing around on him, right?
Yes,
That
and
was
they
a
go
good
playing
one.
it back in his
rewind and watch
head
the
and
shit.
rewind it. Yup. Yes, and
Mhm.
so even when you think about like insurance claims, because they showed that in Black Mirror with it, and them being able to go back and look at what you've seen, and where's the cloud that's holding all of that information? I really feel like we're gonna find out, because it
Minority
seems
Report.
right.
Mm.
So many things in
And again, remember what I just said. Well, who's I don't know who actually put that in for the group, the China with the schools and the thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. I if you want to show the video, I put it at the end of the, because you know I can't, I don't know what happened. So I put it at the end of the WhatsApp thread if one of you want to play it. But they are utilizing these headbands, and they track. They know if your student is no longer paying attention, if they're focused, if they're doing a good, like it gives a full running report. But it's in there if you want to play it. It's pretty interesting, because I know whatever they try there, it'll end up here eventually.
Well, we have 10 minutes and 3 more stories, and I definitely want to get to this one.
Okay. Come on, Leak.
Okay, so Jose, you gonna play it for me?
Yeah, I'm trying to
You
get
let me hold on. Wait, no, not that one. Let me grab the one for you. So what, I'm gonna explain it as I'm looking for it on here.
Which
There
one is
is a
playing
woman,
it so I can pull you to the front?
Jose will play it. I'm just looking for it to send it. So there is a woman on TikTok who does elegant versus not elegant. And she has decided that she is going to judge Melanites on their hair and say whether or not their styles are elegant versus non-elegant. And there's been a lot of major backlash. Did Jose just disappear? Jose, where you at, Jose? And so there's been a lot of like major backlash on this video, and her apology was horrible. And they're saying that it's a genome woman, but I want to make sure that people know it seems like she's gratitude. Seems like she is Latin from the post that I saw. And I think it's very important to let that be known, because there's a lot of people that were in the comments also saying that we need to really speak on the racism that is in those communities as well, and how they feel about us. Go ahead, Jose, run.
All right, I'm about to run it, y'all. Oh, is it even on?
Elegant.
Let me. The sound was on.
Elegant. Not elegant. Elegant. Not elegant. Elegant. Not elegant.
That part. So there's a young genome girl that read her rights, and it was pretty interesting to hear her talk about it. But she was pretty much explaining that she needs to mind her business and that this has nothing to do with her. And the fact that she put Bantu knots is not elegant. The fact that she thinks anyway. Tell me your thoughts, please, panel.
Another damn genome trying to tell us who the fuck we are and what's acceptable.
I feel like still these are the same people that tried to inherit and take the hairstyles we have now. And you're up there telling us what's elegant and not elegant, but you will come in and try to get you a full frontal. You will try to get you box braids. You will try to put anything through your thin sweeps of the hair to fit in. And baby, it just don't fit like that. And it's easy for you to drag somebody because, baby, our curls are ethereal. They can do whatever. Whatever. The crown, you know, don't touch my hair. Solange, you literally, they just don't get it. They don't understand, but they want to understand. They want to be as well. They've been doing that. It goes back to Malika when you talked about when they were trying to put laws on Melanite's hair, especially like covering it up and everything. This is them trying to do that again. They keep trying to remix and throw us and loop us to be like, I'm so ashamed. You're right. Like, I just need to go out there and have 27-inch straight bundles. No. Mm-mm. They want us to be the same where they're the Melanite doll and the genome doll. They wanted to go back to that like kind of terms where it's you're beautiful, my standard isn't beautiful, and it's never going to be that because we know who we are and we see who we are. But I see you got something to stake with TT.
Yeah, well, I do. The genome she ran in her rights. The fact that she says she's not going to apologize, she doesn't think she was trying to be all inclusive, is one thing. And then to hear you say the way you said it, like you say, we know who we are, we know we're beautiful. And we do. However, I came across a TikTok the other day of a Melanite girl, and she has all these different piercings on her face. And she said the first thing out her mouth was, I hate being black. I love myself. I think I'm beautiful. I love being black, but I hate being black. Like, nobody is ever going to make me have self-hate of who I am, where I come from. I am not black. I am Melanite, and it is a difference. And the genome read her rights and says she owes all Melanite women an apology, and she absolutely should. But if she doesn't, I don't give a fuck because she's not even in my reality, flat-haired, fucking genome, recessive ass bitch.
Listen, it's when the young girl that was speaking back to her, she had said to her, you don't even, because she was explaining that these are protective styles, like you don't even know the basis of these styles, and all of them are cute, all of them look good, and they're very intricate stylings, unlike your low ponytail that you were sporting to tell people like your person's not elegant. Absolutely, Quatita and Jose.
And that lady that you were actually talking about, I know who you're talking about. She used to be in the industry. So that's probably why she bashes herself like that and demeans herself like that, because she was in a whole industry feeling like she couldn't be something with genomes. And now she's independent and she sees and reviews it all. And that's kind of her trauma. So she doesn't want to stand in her being beautiful and Melanite. So it's easy for her to just say, I don't know how to be beautiful and black. But I know exactly who you're talking about. I hope she understands you are beautiful because I understand who she is and I've seen who she is and I listen to her content. You're very talented, girl. Yeah. Don't give up. Don't let them get you.
So real quick, we have 3 stories left, but we only have 6 minutes left into the show. So one, Paul Wall, Aubrey, I think this was yours. Paul Wall at the age of 5 said he had a 12-year-old stepmom because his dad was fucking a 12-year-old girl that was dressing her up with makeup and wigs. That's genome shit. So not elegant is what the fuck we have to say. Panel, real quick.
I guess on that, my thing is how you, I mean, I was listening to him talk, but he said because of how she was dressed, I can see it. But how you not know that she was 12? Did you
He was
not hold
5.
conversations? Did you not hold conversations? What we talking about?
No,
Like,
he was 5. Paul Wall was 5.
oh, he was 5.
Yeah, that's why he said, "Who am I going to tell?" At the age of 5.
Ooh. Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
Like you said, genome shit.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Yep.
Yes. We'll save that one for last, but let's get into this one really quick. Church versus ancestors versus church versus gays, homosexuals. Malika, start us off, please.
I don't have the video. Okay, so there is a pastor who has pretty much stated that she is perturbed because she can't figure out who made it a standard that in order to be a black woman, you have to be a witch. And she proceeds to speak about Beyonce and Kaylani. And what I really appreciated about this, I don't know, her video, she ends up telling the congregation that they can throw away all of their spiritual tools, all of their metaphysical tools, their witchcraft, go home and throw it all away because it is not for you. And she also speaks on how the witchcraft and feeling like we have to connect back to our ancestors, how that is connected to white supremacy. Listen, there is a lot in this one post, and it pretty much went viral. And I really want them to see Jasmine Garden's video, but let me see if I could play it for you all. Can I play it really quick, or do we have to go into another story?
We do have one more story, but
okay, so I would just say go to Jasmine's Garden Instagram and look at her post where she speaks on this. But this pastor has created a lot of uproar, and pretty much Jasmine is explaining to her that she is in a glass closet and that she needs to deal with the issues that she has had internally in regards to her sexual identity. And a lot of people feel like she is backlashing. First of all, you're not going to tell me to throw away my crystals when you're doing your whole sermon from a laptop.
Oh, wait, she's the ex-gay?
Yes.
Girl, she was all kind of dykey up there. I thought so.
And that's Jasmine's point. How are you going to call us profane and yet you were up there with pants on and you were in a pulpit that your word says that you are not supposed to be
she
in?
She want this.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, she's rocking all this fake hair. Is all I was thinking to myself. And you holding this Bible and this Christianity, and that, my dear, is due to white supremacy. The Africans, they'd be like, "Oh, good man of God." They are confused and lost as fuck too. African spirituality was just that. It was never Christianity. That bitch is so lost and confused. I was angry. But that if you get away from your ancestors, that leaves you defenseless. And you're going to still be waiting on Jesus.
There are so many people in the comments under her original post, Quatita, where they are speaking, they're from Africa and they're saying they live there and that they are well aware that their ancestors were evil in the works that they practiced. And they are completely disappointed in their ancestors and they know better now than their ancestors did. And as you stated, with all of that she had going on, what I was saying earlier is you are utilizing a laptop for your sermon and you have a fancy watch on, which are both run by Panel. What makes them run? Crystals. That you're saying have no power. Okay. Gratitude.
Which we are. We're crystals. We're melanite crystals. I don't know what she thought she was. Motherfuckers just be wanting a round of applause. Go sit your fucking ass down. Knock it off.
She wanted a viral moment and she got it.
And did.
So we get delivered from being.
I am delivered. I do not eat. I do not eat snacks no more. Okay, I'm sorry.
I like and I like dig. I like dig, and I still work for the spirit. What we talking about? Come on, Aubrey.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so you get delivered, sis, because you got your bundles in your pants.
She has been delivered. Delivered.
Okay.
Just saying. Exactly, because I'm not gay no more. All right, governess. What's the what was the other story you want to touch on real quick? Or do we have time? Or no? Is she free? What's going on here?
What's the matter, Carbon? I was on mute.
Oh no! I was like,
He's like,
my
is you
thing is
serious?
tripping. I'm sorry, y'all. My bad. My bad. Panel. Let's see. Unleashing the Kraken. New energy.
This is what we was
Uh,
talking about the energy that's been released, and me saying about just wanting to do harm to someone, and realizing that there is an emotional energy that I'm calling unleashing the Kraken energy, where you're wanting to just beat somebody to fuck up, stab somebody, do something harmful to someone because you're feeling some sort of emotion that you don't know why you're feeling it. And it's like you can't break free from that thought. And these people, including these children, which is why they're reacting this way. Come on, panel.
yeah, you've been talking about this energy for years now, and it just keeps compiling and compiling and compiling and getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and the actions keep getting worse and worse and worse. So yeah, yeah.
I wonder what BG, I'm gonna call him BG, we all know who he is. The energy that he said that he released, that we wasn't gonna be able to come back from, that he feel like this is his best. Y'all think that's this what this is?
I feel like it could be Chaz, but I also feel like he tried to do it very meticulously, even with the food. So he thought, even if I do it this way, you'll never see it coming because I'm going to do it in ways where you feel you're never going to understand how this energy is coming because it's just going to come. I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to do it like this. It's like a spider web. There's so many different ways that he has in his head. He thinks that he can throw it out there. We're just waiting to be Charlotte and eat that motherfucking fly in there.
He kind of reminds me of the father off the feed. You know what I'm saying? Like the way he thinks, his mentality. That's what he reminds me of. Just sick in the head. You know what I'm saying? Just he thinks he know everything about everyone, and he knows how everyone feels is supposed to react. That's what he reminds me of this. It's crazy.
I think Chaz, the father would actually be BG. And plus, I thought you were talking about a rapper. It took me a second, and then I realized you were talking about. But in that show, the father I think would be BG's dad, because
Yes.
BG is not as he's calculated, but not what his dad was that taught him all of this, the father of eugenics, right? And then he would be not the main brother character, but the other one who just wants to be loved by daddy so bad.
That fucked up. That
I just said that in my head. He's the brother, the setup. He not Thomas. He's the other one.
Right there. Absolutely, Jazz.
Makes sense.
But it also makes you thinking if anyone's ever seen Utopia on Amazon Prime. If you've seen that as well, how they show you a little better without showing you with technology implied. They show you before you get to technology, how they're doing it. And they show you how the Kraken is unleashed that way as well. That's a good one to actually watch. And it shows you how the jabs and sticky, the whatever, how they affect everybody, and how sometimes there's a good one on there where it shows how Quatita was saying you have to watch when you get them and when you give them to the babies. There's a Melanite girl on there who has Dales. It's a made up, condition, but it's real things to where she can't understand why she keeps spasming and having these spasms because the nurse gave it to her. And her mission in this whole series is to find out, why do I have this? How do I have this? Where's the cure? Because I know there is one. Where's the cure? She's actually the smartest next to the other Melanite girl, who's the fighting Melanite girl. The two of those Melanite women are the smartest in the show, but they don't want you to think that. They want you to think, oh, she's so soft and stupid. She's not stupid. She's the smartest bitch in the camp. I really think a lot of people should see that. She's one of the smartest ones. It just makes you think how they show you the energy, though, because it's even in little shows like that.
What's up, Lee?
So I was just going to say, in regards to the Kraken energy, there's been some dreams that I've been having, and I do want to make sure that I say this. Quatita and I were talking about it today with the young lady that came on earlier, the beautiful woman who was stating that the information given to us earlier was putting her in a very perturbed state. She was appalled, as Kier would say. it's very important in these dreams. It's just all chaos. And there's Charming, what's the movie with the peer and the twins, the
Oh,
doppelgangers?
us.
It's very us energy, right? But it's as if these things are chasing, and they're in another beyond the veil. And so you're here thinking it's you, and really the chaos is just chasing you, right? And so I just want to say, please listen to what Quatita said earlier when she gave that advice. Protect your peace. Make sure that you are practicing what it is that you need to practice, so you don't get so caught up in the emotions of it all that you lose the clarity. Because, like we were saying earlier, clear minds make for clear strategy, right? Cool, calm, and collected. You want to be those things even when shit hits the fan. This, whether it shows up in anger, sadness, whatever emotional state, is not helping you to see what's coming and to see it at all angles. So please do what is necessary. Get on your meditation along with your preparation, all of these things, and protect your peace before all else. Gratitude.
Gratitude. So real
Absolutely.
quick before we get out of here, somebody said, what is BG? I'll be the one to say it because we try not to use names too often, but we're talking about the founder of the Gates Foundation. And his father, like she said, is the founder of eugenics. He's also with Margaret Sanger, the founder of Parenthood. And as we were talking about earlier, how the birth control does something to the body to where I had to have a hysterectomy very young. You know what I mean? So they're doing a lot of things. And I've said they have, as we are developing our sectors, they also have sectors that control and do certain things from food to medicines to population control, because you have to understand that is what Mr. Gates loved to do, population and depopulate. He gets it from somewhere. So again, when the war break out, don't forget that he has taken over his father's position and job, and he has a son as well. Don't forget that.
Facts.
Card.
Absolute facts. Okay. You all, it has been a wonderful, wonderful show. I hope everybody's had a good time. I've learned a lot for sure. But with that said, like always, until next time, don't trust no Gino, don't trust no G Night, and Salitude.
Solitude Day, why family?
Salitude, why?